Hey YouTube, coming at you with my first Summer Cup team, Bellibolt, CRADILY, and Zapdos. So I start with Bellibolt because I'm like, it's a high rank Pokemon. I just built it up. I know how strong it is with Parabolic Charge here. So started with that, and then I was like, okay, what? I need to cover ground weakness. I know there's Gastrodon, stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm going to cover it with a Flyer. And I was looking, I'm like, Shadow Zapdos. I love using Shadow Zapdos in the Ultra League. So I'm like, I'll pair with those two. I'm like, ooh, okay. Still might want to get some coverage for like still a bit of ground, and it's just I need a safe swap. And then I was like looking through the rankings. I'm like, CRADILY, do I have one? And I had a 15, 15, 14, and it was purified. So I'm like, I have the XL candies, and it will not cost me as much. So built it up. Team worked okay. Yeah, so there. Like if you see a ground, if you see Gastrodon or you see other ground Pokemon, you immediately leave. Stuff that resists Sucker Punch is also sort of probably some things that I would leave out with. Into CRADILY as your safe swap. I tend to try to... I played it two ways. I played one, you just do what I showed earlier. It's just like shield Bellibolt early, Parabolic Charge, buff your defense, and keep running with that. Or when you have Shadow Zapdos is a fantastic closer. So I could also sometimes let that go. Let the early Pokemon go and leave that for shield advantage in the back there. So I played it both ways. Let's take a look. Okay lead. They get into Heliolisk. This is me just not knowing this Pokemon, not knowing his movesets. I'm like, I don't even know what to do here. So that was just hesitation there. Eventually get into my CRADILY here. They hit me with a Breaking Swipe. That's fine. We'll go for that Rock Tomb. This will do good damage and lower the attack, so we'll see what they decide to do. They do end up shielding. Heliolisk is pretty glassy, but the attack is now lowered. These Breaking Swipes are not doing a lot here, so I don't need to worry about that. And out comes Scizor. Why are you throwing Grass Knot? Shouldn't you be throwing Rock Tomb, which is neutral? Yes, and you should instead of throwing a resisted Grass Knot. That was just not... I don't know. I don't even know what that was. Just not good. So eventually back in Bellibolt, get off that Parabolic Charge, which again does so much good chip damage for a move that buffs your defense. And as you can see in this one, I'm just going to try and two-shield Zapdos here. So I'm going to come in CRADILY. Oh no, come in here and shield. Yeah. Zapdos is pretty glassy, but man, it's so fun because it spams so quick here. And what is in the back? A Blastoise. Love to see it. There's no point of baiting. Gonna go straight for the Thunderbolt. I'm gonna outpace to the move. They let it go, which means I'm gonna catch the move here on CRADILY. So take that move here, farm down, come out with some energy, and this game is over. Doesn't matter. Resisted. They're in the red already, so this is a easy one shot from this range. They have a shield, but they're not even gonna bother, knowing that I'm just gonna outpace. Ampharos. So you'll see Ampharos on a team. It'll be my third team. I've got a double fire team coming tomorrow because I've got to talk about. I got to go off on these bottle caps here, $20 bottle caps. So a rant video coming at you this afternoon. Stay tuned for that. So that a double fire team, and then Ampharos coming on my third team. Ampharos is a pretty nice. Like if you don't have Bellibolt and you want an electric, and obviously Zapdos is a tougher one too. Ampharos is a pretty good option. As you're going to see here, they get to another move. So in the zero shield against Bellibolt, which is supposed to be this amazing Pokemon, I buffed my defense twice, but I'm in the deep red in an even shield, even energy scenario, right? So quite strong Pokemon. I used mine as a safe swap with the Shadow version. But yeah, Ampharos, definitely an option. Unfortunately for my opponents, they came in with the Skeledirge, which is weak to Sucker Punch. I buffed my defense again, which means I lived in more Incinerates than I should have. And by the time the damage is done here, come in, took one move on CRADILY. Going to come in Zapdos, shield this, farm down. And I'm pretty sure they top left because I think they're weak in the back to Zapdos. Oh no, they don't top left, but they should. We have a Venusaur. Drill Peck is going to one-shot. I've got two loaded. Here comes the first. They decide to let it... Okay, it does not quite one-shot. Puts them in the red, though, which is all I need. They are now in acid range. Yeah, I think they just knew I had like 2+ moves loaded. So Skeldurge, again, decent. A Hex Skeldurge. So I actually do not know the sims for that, but you think with a super effective Sucker Punch, it would still be advantage for me. But here comes the Torch Song. That does boost their attack. So even if I boost my defense, still should be net even, right? They do commit a shield here. And I did boost my... yeah, I'm going to shield back just to match it. They do buff their attack for a second time. Because it's a Hex, I'm just going 1 Sucker Punch and then throw. Because a Hex is a 3-turn move. And they do commit the double shield. And that's okay. At this point, well... yeah, I guess my thought process is the exact thought process I had in the game. Why don't you just save the shield advantage for Zapdos? That would be smart. But then you also get a... I'm already very boosted, and I'm going to win switch, and I'm going to come out with a move. Yeah, plus being 2 times boosted already. So why don't I shield? And that's what happened. They do have a Poliwrath that I am able to tape it with Zapdos. Guessing double water there. Yeah, fire double water would make sense there. I don't know what happened there, but it was a Charizard lead, which is a good lead. Out comes Typhlosion. And Typhlosion is a weird one because... So I saw today, if you're wondering what the meta is, the reason I ran double fire is because I saw a crap ton of Skeldurge and Typhlosion. And they do surprisingly well against like Bellibolt and a lot of this meta. Obviously, water is your biggest answer, but you cover that with the... I covered it with Virizion as a grass. But yeah, both are very strong, and I think both can kind of take Bellibolt pretty low in those matchups too, if not even win those matchups. So I think that they're both very strong Pokemon. Unfortunately for me, I totally misplay this matchup. I had a good lead because I did not know what to do against the Typhlosion, that I hesitated too much. Ended up losing alignment. I have to shield this. I wanted to farm down, but I'm worried about the second Icy Wind, so I can't farm down. I've got to just commit the shield here. And I know they have the Charizard left, and I know they have Typhlosion left. I don't know how much energy this has. Obviously, if I knew that, I would have just shielded this. Sorry, I would have thrown before they got to this move, but did not know how much they had. Incinerate would have taken me down, so I have to throw. But then at this point, I'm too low. So yeah, I made a lot of mistakes in these matchups. You're gonna see the tomorrow matchup. Oh, some really really poor plays. But yeah, I'm gonna go down here. And probably a matchup I should have won. I do get Drill Pick off, but it is not enough. They live with a couple HP and get to a move. Yeah, I played very poor. I'm gonna get my elo on this third team. I've got a couple more battles to finish that set, and I'll get my elo. So I'll let you guys know what that is. I guess Thursday afternoon, maybe. Okay, Swampert, tough lead. Met with a Typhlosion. Obviously, there's Gastrodon, there's Swampert, just your general mud boys that are in this meta, which makes it a little tough. So just be aware of those. I do shield this, anticipating a Blast Burn and not a resisted Thunder Punch, just to make sure I can lower their attack for a second time before I take the next move. They do commit 2 shields. I would be surprised if I commit 2 shields back. I assume I would just let this go. Yep, Blast Burn does not take me out. Out comes a Venusaur. So we're going to come in here. Zapdos. Could I take a Sludge Bomb? Yes. Would it hurt? Yep. It would probably put me in the deep yellow. So I'm just going to commit that shield. Try and farm and get to this Drill Peck. Hoping it one-shots. If I remember, it does not quite one-shot. Yeah, 1 HP leaving me, which is unfortunate. Have to take the Sludge Bomb, as you're going to see. Deep red, right? So what makes it a not amazing Pokemon, but it is fun when you get into these scenarios where almost one-shots, not quite, but enough to just Sucker Punch down. Oh yeah, right. It is the the Swampert, and I just end up having a banked move on CRADILY, which I just sniped the double super effective Grass Knot. Palkia. So kind of an interesting one. A lead that I could just play out here with Sucker Punch and Parabolic Charge. And they make a catch on Skeldurge. And unfortunately, that catch allows the full Incinerate to go through, which is unfortunate. But at this point, just play out this matchup, knowing that Sucker Punch is super effective. I boosted my defense. I can just Sucker Punch down, come out with energy. So shield up Shadow Ball. That's great. Just farm down. Ton of energy. Palkia comes back in. So get that move off before they get anything coming my way. They shield. I'm already at a second one. Here we go. This will be the third Parabolic Charge, which means these Dragon Breaths are not going to be doing as much as you want them to, right? 3 times boosted defense. This is why these Pokemon can get out of control pretty quickly. Aqua Tail, not enough to take out. Not that it matters too much. I'm going to come CRADILY, just because if I'm going to have to take a move, I want to take it here. Feraligatr comes in, maybe trying to catch a Rock Tomb or something, but is going to catch a Grass Knot instead. Almost enough to take this out. Just going to stay in here. Force them to throw. It is just a Hydro. It is neutral. I'm half rock. Stand there. Force them to throw again, knowing that Zapdos can just, with a shield advantage and barely any health left on Palkia, just take this matchup. Very spammy. 5-4-5-4 to these Drill Pecks. So that's what I like about it. Just, you can basically Drill Peck won't one-shot anything, but 10-8, 10-8 will probably two-shot every. I mean, it would one-shot fighting grass. Yeah, I remember this one. So, Bellibolt, terrible lead. Dark resisted on the fighting. Electric resisted on the grass. So I have to safe swap. Could I have come Zapdos right away? Maybe. But I'm coming CRADILY because Acid is super effective. However, it is also Rock Tomb is resisted on the fighting and Grass Knot is resisted on the grass. So I do chip a ton, but I lose that matchup anyways, to then have my Bellibolts get into a Swampert. And I have seen teams like this. I think I saw a couple today where it's just basically 3 Pokemon to beat Bellibolt. So you have like Swampert, you got Virizion, you got Grass, Mud Boys. Even some of the I think there's probably a Fire on this team. Like even the Fires are pretty good against Bellibolt. So you're gonna get just some combo of those like Pokemon to try to beat your Bellibolt here. So they end up double shielding. I let this go to try to, what am I doing here? Yeah, Typhlosion in the back, and this is what I'm talking about. I'm already too low. I should have maybe gotten some Zap Cannons here. The first thought is with this move is to always just buff your your defense, but you know, getting off a Zap Cannon to nuke there may have been a better play, as opposed to this one where I'm going to have to throw another move and they've already doing a lot of damage. So I don't know if I I don't think I have to play that the same way again. But again, here's a Virizion as an answer. They have a Swampert as an answer. I don't really have anywhere to go with this Pokemon. Not much you can do. The meta is very, very, very limited. I'm noticing that very much so after 5 sets. So, you know, I kind of got lucky that I can do a rant this afternoon on the bottle caps, and then we have the community day this weekend, so I can cover the community day. Only one video on the weekend. Anyone who has Master League or this cup that wants to submit, please do in the next couple days. Maybe try to get ahead before the weekend. So, Typhlosion, gonna just stay in this matchup. I'm gonna shield, because I expect it to be at least 1 Blast Burn and then to farm down. But look at that. So they grabbed 1 shield from me, and now they're going to get another Blast Burn off. So despite my attack being boosted, so my defense being boosted, and using a shield, I'm at like 1 HP, this is what I'm talking about. These Fires have a lot of play against these electric type Pokemon. Throwing the Parabolic Charge blind, because I have no choice. It is a Shadow Vic. So I'm coming in here because they were slightly ahead on energy, and I'm down a shield, which is not a scenario you want to put Zapdos in. So you just kind of have to come in here and try and grab a shield back, try and take it out, try and do chip damage. All the different combinations, what you want to try and do here. I do lower the attack. They are farming a lot though. I'm going to let this go, and at this point just try and go one shield Zapdos, which I do remember getting a, and they come in for Alligator. Trying to again catch Mouth Guard or catch the Rock Tomb. Catch Grass Knot. Come in here. Welcome it to the farm down. Oh yeah. Was going to commit to the farm down because I expected them to throw the Hydro Cannon before I got to a move. But because they did not get to a move before I did, I burnt that shield knowing that I was going to take out or burn that last shield, and that is valuable for me because now I can get to the move here with shields down. What is a good scenario? Having a Pidgeot when you have 2 electric Pokemon, but out comes a Swampert, so I have to come in Zapped. Again, I don't have an amazing answer. I could have come Cradily. This is the only sort of weird thing with this Pokemon now. What turns into a fantastic matchup here is now kind of awkward. If I came in with Acid, because Acid was resisted. Yes, Grass Knot would one-shot, but those Hydros would come pretty quick and do neutral damage. And Sludge would be super effective, but either way, Hydro or Sludge, you'd be taken out in 2 if you're a Cradily there. So, actually, Sludge is neutral on the rock. Grass. So Ampharos comes in. Does not matter in the ending here. Overall, I will have alignment. Cradily on the Ampharos, and I still have the Bellibolt on the Pidgeot, so tough alignment for my opponent here. So a couple more minutes of battles. And then, yeah. Lots of conversations about the 2 videos yesterday. The Ultra League and Master League. Obviously, people have a couple thoughts on both the Summer Cup and the Master League Pokemon and the Master League thing. Most people in the Ultra League unfortunately said, and I can tell already by usually these top teams on league turnover, especially limited cups, get like 10,000 views after like 24 hours. And when I'm filming this, what are we here? 12, almost 15 hours in here. Yep, I do film late at night. We're at like 4,000. And pretty much the comments are, yeah, I'm not even going to try that. That's crazy. Basically, almost anything in this needs Excel. Nate talked about how Grass was thrown under the bus with this patch. Yeah, with Bug and Steel resist, like buffed, and Poison given to a bunch of Pokemon. Yeah, Grass got the short end of the stick. Definitely going to take a week off from PvP, but the content will be supported. Thank you very much. And then there's a whole debate about accessibility between Little Cup. I saw this debate on both videos. Accessibility issue between Little Cup, Ultra League, and Master League. And people saying that, like, yeah, people are saying like Little Cup is worse in terms of accessibility. I don't know about that. Like, here's where it's worse. Little Cup is worse when Bronzer, Meryl, and Smeargle are allowed. If those 3 are allowed, then those 3 are so far ahead of everything else that the Little Cup becomes useless, because if you don't have those 3, you don't play. So, in terms of accessibility, yes, if you don't have those 3 Pokemon and those 3 are allowed in Little Cup, then don't play Little Cup. If those 3 are not allowed, it is a very, very, very accessible league. You can get so many Pokemon under 500 CP. It barely costs any dust to invest in. It barely costs any candy to invest in. You can get basic stuff like Vulpix or Zigzagoon or something like random Vullaby, like just random stuff that works as long as those 3 Pokemon are banned. As opposed to here, where it's like, yeah, like every Pokemon pretty much every Pokemon in the Summer Cup is XL. Cradily, rank 1, level 50. Bellibolt, rank 1 is level 42, so you don't need it, but it is. Shadowvic is here, 48.5. Toxtricity, probably not. Oh yeah, even Toxtricity is 42. Tentacruel is probably a 50. Yeah, Tentacruel is a 50. Lapras is like a 42. Yeah, 42.5 as well. Samurott, probably not. Yeah, Samurot's only 36, so if you want to use a Samurott, Jellicent's like a 48 to 50. Yeah, level 50. Glycopod, maybe not. Glycopod, yeah, Glycopod's only 29. So you can run Glycopod and, I mean, I don't know if this team would work, but because you're double to Electric already, and, you know, Bellibolt and Zapdos, and I just talked about Ampharos, but Samurott, Glycopod, 2 that don't, but then you get into the Genesect and Virizion and Zapdos, and those are your legendaries, and then Skeldurge is another one. So there are options, right? And I bet you Electivire is under 2. Yeah, Electivire is level 30. So there's just 4. I just named 4 Pokemon in the top 20 that are not XLs. Electivire, Skeldurge, Golisopod, Samurott. So there are options for non-XL Pokemon in this league. But, you know, we're already looking at, like, I can tell you right now, there's not much that I saw below rank 20 here. Like Venusaur I saw, but like, oh yeah, I guess I saw a lot of Swamperts. I did actually see a lot of Swamperts, so that's lower on the list. But yeah, Galvantula and Miltank and Morpeko and Trevenant and Licky and Magnezone, and I did not see any of these Pokemon, and it's a very top-heavy league, unfortunately. So you're just going to see a heavy dose of... actually, the Fire Pokemon are probably lower ranked, but I saw a ton of them. Skeldurge is 19. Typhlosion is 67. Yeah, so I saw a lot of Skeldurge, Typhlosion. In the waters, I saw a lot of Swamperts. And I think that's more just a product of that's what people have, right? Because Swampert was a very meta Pokemon for a long, long time in this league. A lot of Virizions and Vicks and Grass-type Pokemon to try to deal with... I saw a decent amount of Venusaurs, and Venusaur, again, can be one of those that was relevant in Ultra League without Excels in the early season. So maybe people just have that. So it could just be a lot of people just playing with what they have, like non-XL, Golisopod, and Venusaur, and Swamperts, and saw a couple Charizards. So it could just be like, I already have those built, so I'm just going to play with them. And then there's the sort of new buff Pokemon. You saw a few of those. But outside of that, not a lot. And then like a couple just old meta, like Jellicent and Virizion, that have been like kind of around for a while in the Ultra League. But outside of that, not a lot. So I think this meta is going to be pretty small, pretty fast. And we'll see whether people keep playing. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Like, I didn't hate it for day 1. I'll hate it by day 3 sort of thing. So I'll play again tomorrow. I'm on my 3rd team, like I said, the Ampharos team. But I'm already pretty low. Like, I can maybe do one more team. I probably am tapped out at 4 teams. Or 4 unique teams. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to start recycling Pokemon again. But if you try to team, let me know. If you want to submit a battle, link in the description. And that is it. So thank you for watching. And now time to film a rant about bottle caps. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.